have a very, very special stream planned for you guys today. So basically, where's that box? You're gonna find out. Today, we're going to be talking about retro technology, basically technology of the past, first Apollo mission, stuff like that. Should be really cool. And we even got some cool stuff we're gonna unbox at the end of stream. Make sure you stick around to that. All right, so this all kind of started when I was like, you guys know about like retrofuturism? I think it's super cool. Not really. So basically back in time, we're talking about like the 40s, 50s, some earlier. It's pretty much what they thought the future would look like. They thought we'd have stuff like this, and it's like, we don't really, but it's cool to see what they thought the future would look like. Did the cow really jump over the moon? They overestimated us so much. I feel like in some areas they did, like we don't have robots or flying cars, but they didn't think that we'd have like a smartphone that has all of the information available to us on our phones right in front of us. So I think it just kind of developed differently than they thought it would. So this is how this kind of started. And I was like looking into this and I was like, the technology back then was actually pretty cool. They thought we'd have robots, and especially because of the space race, like we went to the moon in 1969. So people thought by today we'd have like colonized the whole solar system. Because how long was it? It was like less than 50 years between the first human flight and landing on the moon. And then 50 years later, like we haven't even been back to the moon. If we really had all this stuff, imagine what the world would be. Yeah, like people would make art like this, trying to predict what the future would look like. And I think it's just really cool to see like what they thought the future would be like. They all thought we'd have like flying cars and robots, which I mean, we don't. AI is going crazy right now though. Like, look at these are cool. It'd be so amazing if we had colonized the solar system, planets, and moons. I know. I could totally see how people back then thought that by today, we would be way more like technologically in space, you know? Like if you've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, that was made in the 60s, and they thought we'd have colonized the solar system by then. Whoa. Okay, I actually haven't seen these. I wanted to like kind of look at them on stream. I just found some cool stuff, but look at that. I mean, this isn't that far off. Like we have cruise ships. They don't look like that though. Like, look at this. Like this is supposed to be what, on Titan? Because that's Saturn, I assume. And then, what, floating pyramids, dude? One day we'll get here, right? In 1860, a group of school students were asked what 2020 would look like. Most of them said that we'd have flying cars and robots doing work for us. One of them said that machines would kill us and eventually rule us. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think AI is going to take over the world and kill us. The floating cars. I think they realize that floating cars just aren't practical. I feel like if we really wanted them, we could have had them by now. All right, so yeah, that's how this all started. This is all like fantasy, not real technology, but we are gonna be talking about real stuff. Whoa, wait, hold on, look at this. Glow-in-the-dark roads? Dude, they should totally have that. I hate when I'm driving at night and I can't see the road. Just like paint it with the glow-in-the-dark paint. It's so expensive. Yeah. Didn't they put, I think I heard something where glow-in-the-dark paint used to be radioactive before they found out that was bad. Wouldn't that cause a lot of light pollution? In cities, there's already so much light pollution, you know? If you're in this city at night, you're already not gonna be able to see the stars. So this isn't very accurate that you can see them here. Anyway, let's start going into the real technology of the past. We're gonna talk about the Apollo missions. Cause like the whole space race is really what pushed technology so quickly, like in the 60s, because they were trying to develop all the technology to beat Russia and get to the moon, the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union actually had the first man in space. Yuri Gagarin, is that right? Sputnik or something was the first orbit. Yeah, so the US was like, we can't have them win, you know? So the United States wanted to have the first man on the moon. So John F. Kennedy was like,
we choose to go to the moon.
Yes. So that is what really kicked off the rapid growth of technology. Because, yeah, the US wanted to beat the Soviet Union, so it's kind of like a rivalry. Promote your shop or meet. SpaceshipYT.com, everybody. Get your Pluto Hate Club merch. We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got stickers, we got pins. It's all really cool stuff. SpaceshipYT.com. Go buy some, it's really cool. That was 1962, and he said that by the end of the decade, they would put man on the moon, which America accomplished, dude, in July of 1969, and it was Apollo 11. They had a lot of missions before that were kind of testing missions. Like Apollo 10 went all the way to the moon's orbit, but just didn't land on the moon, right? Space shuttle was peak of NASA, but Columbia set it back. Yeah, the space shuttle program was really cool. Chip, what do you think if the USSR won the space race and Cold War? I think the world would probably be a lot different. It's hard to think about. What was the rocket called that the USSR was developing to go to the moon? The N1. Yeah, let me look it up. Let's just be completely honest. The Saturn V looks so much better. Like, what is this? Like, sorry, Saturn V is a lot better. I mean, obviously, the Saturn V actually made it. Oh, look, Spaceflight Simulator. I think it would be cool to try to build this, though, in like either Spaceflight Simulator or Kerbal Space Program. What happened to the Saturn 1 through 4? I don't think there was there? Actually, N1 was originally designed for Venus, but due to Apollo 11, they switched to the moon. Really? Still looks better than your Jupiter 4 rocket in SFS. All right, man. So that was the space race, but we're going back in time even further now to the, when did this come out? 1920s? 1939. So we have the New York World's Fair. This little short documentary has the very, very first humanoid robot designed to be like move and talk by itself, which I just thought was cool because like I could totally see how by now they would think we had robots, you know. So basically they're talking about the future in 1939. So it's cool to watch it from the perspective of today.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, with a great deal of pride and pleasure, I present to you Electro, the Westinghouse Moto Man. Electro?
Robot!
Here.
There he is! This is the very first robot. Bro's built like a Lego.
All right, Electro, will you tell your story, please?
Why did he have to say it like that?
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, Toots. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be
I think his
very
mouth is
glad
moving, but you can't
to
really see.
tell my
Oh, is he gonna smoke?
You got that? Now hold on to it.
Of course they make the robot smoke, dude. Like, why? Well, a smoking robot, what do you guys think? Did he say he's only 2 years old at the end? They're like, he's only 2.
Just learning. And folks, he's only 2 years old, too.
They're like, he's 2, let's give him a cigarette.
Can you buy him for the stream?
Can you buy him for the stream? Where is he now? Oh, he's in a museum. Why did they make him so creepy? Like, we saw the statues in the other video. They know how to make a human face. Is a dog too? Look at him. That is so creepy with the blacked out eyes. Could be a horror movie. These pictures are kind of funny. That pig goes hard. Yeah, this could be like an album cover for like a heavy metal album. Okay, Electro Robot price. There's no prices. He's 260 pounds. He smokes cigarettes. And he's got a creepy looking face. I need it, I think. This is the first humanoid robot that like did stuff by itself. And this was back in, it was what, 1939? So they're like, dude, by 2000, we're gonna have robots running the world. And then that didn't happen. We're going to play a little game. This is a real old game called Lunar Lander. I don't know if you guys know this game. This was in an arcade cabinet. When did this game come out? So this game came out in 1979. So this was after humans had been to the moon, so they kind of knew what to expect. But this was a original arcade cabinet game. I haven't played this yet. How do you, okay. So it's pretty much like, you know, KSP or those other games where you're trying to land your lander. I want to try to get like the 4 times over here, but this is an actual old game. The reason why I thought we should play this, it's kind of like the first space flight game that's like this. I mean, you have like Space Invaders, but that's not realistic. This is the first one that like replicates real life rocketry because you have the way your velocity holds you. Let's see how many points we can get, and then see it zooms in too when you get closer. And you have a certain amount of fuel and you score more based on how much fuel you save. And if you land here. So this is like the very, very, very first Kerbal Space Program right here. So it's cool that, a little more over. Okay, here we go. Why did I die? Dude, that was so slow. Low on fuel? Okay, we're going for this 2 times here. I want to get that 5X. Do you see it on the side of that mountain there? I should be good at this, right? Because I play Spaceflight Simulator. How slow do you have to go? Yes! Perfect landing. Okay, we're gonna try to get that 5x. Oh wait, your fuel carries over. So you have to try to do as many landings as you can with a certain amount of fuel. I see. Okay, we're gonna land in the 5x. Do you think we can do it? We only have 1,000 fuel, so we're trying to get as much score as we can with only 1,000 fuel. Go back to Earth. This run is dead. There's no 5x. We're going back to Earth, okay? I wanna see what happens actually if you go all the way up. Orbit, orbit, orbit. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go into orbit. We are gonna probably just fall back down and crash really fast. Oh, okay, here we go. How come the braking physics are better in this game than they are in Spaceflight Simulator? Did you see how good that was, dude? Okay, let's get this other 5x right here. I'm getting good. Suicide burns are the most efficient, but they're very, very scary. Oh, dude, I'd be so good at this game in the arcade. Okay, no 5x's. Let's go for the 4x on the right. Oh, oh. Okay, there we go. Why? Why did that? Someone tell me why that didn't land. That was like perfect. I think you have to land on a completely flat spot. And if any of your rocket is not on the flat, it gets destroyed. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's why the 5x's are so hard, because it's a really small landing spot. I'm pretty sure that's why I blew up. Okay, that looks good. Okay, okay. We have 64 fuel. Let's go for an easy landing here. Probably this 2x right here will be the easiest because we're kind of already dropping down there. Nope. Alrighty. Alrighty. 750. Let me know if someone beats me, okay? Now, we're going to have a special little segment here. We are actually going to be doing a little interview with somebody who lived during the Apollo 11 mission, watched it live. It's not Neil deGrasse Tyson. It is my grandma. I asked her if she would like to talk on stream to you guys.
Hi, Calvin.
Hi, Grandma.
I've got to make sure that I can hear you well. I had to put it on speakerphone.
Everyone's saying hi to you in the chat. They're saying hi, Grandma.
Hi.
All right. So we were talking about Apollo 11 and all of that. So I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So our first question, how did you first hear about the moon landing and what were your thoughts and feelings as you learned about it?
I probably knew about the moon landing from the newspaper and from my parents, my friends. It was in the summer, but we still lived on campus, University of Utah, because I had another year of college. It was totally well known. I mean, everybody knew that they were going to be landing on the moon on July 20th, and it was broadcast heavily and advertised, so everybody was aware. What was the other part of the question?
What were your thoughts and feelings as you watched it?
Okay. To be honestly truthful, I think I was worried, because I think Neil Armstrong was the one that said there was only like a 50% chance of this whole thing being successful from beginning to end. You were thinking, what's going to happen when they actually touch onto the moon? Are they going to sink into the ground really heavily? Is that going to be all
That's
crazy?
True, because they didn't know what the surface would be like.
No, not at all. They had no idea. But when it actually did touch down and it was okay, then you were like ecstatic. Oh my gosh. We were with friends when we were watching it and we were just kind of awestruck. I don't think we were talking much. We were just intently watching that because it was fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I wish I was able to see it live.
And it's not the best and clearest images, but you still could see when he brought the ladder down and when he started to come out, and it was incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Real quickly, do you want to tell everyone what year you were born so they know?
I was born in 1947.
So how old were you when the moon landing happened?
In In my early 20s. I can't do math in my head anymore, Calvin.
That's okay. All right. So like during the 60s and the 70s, technology was really ramping up because the space race and all that. How did those changes in technology affect your daily life or your work life?
Well, in the 60s, I would say that it wasn't affecting it greatly yet. It was going on, of course. The only thing that stands out in my head, being in college at the time of the moon landing, was electric typewriters. Manual typewriters were so difficult. Electric typewriters made it so you could type faster and better. And that might have occurred even in the late 50s, I'm not sure. Things like TV was advancing, getting better. Automobiles were way more incredible. We still didn't have computers. Our telephones, we still just had a home phone.
That's so crazy to think about because like I've grown up and I've always had that.
Yeah, like the telephones, I think, start becoming digital. Just so many things that I start thinking about. Regular watches. I don't think we had digital watches yet. And you wore a watch all the time because I had to in college because I had to get to class on time and all that. You didn't have your phone.
That's like a whole nother world versus how people go to school in college today.
Oh, totally. And the thing with the walking on the moon, the big thing with that was our competition with USSR. And see, that all started with Kennedy because he said, we want to have a man walk on the moon by the end of the 60s. And we made it by the skin of our teeth. It was July 20th of 1969. And all of us as Americans, because he got killed and so forth, we've just pushed to really make that happen. 400,000 people were involved. It wasn't just the three that were in the spaceship and in the lunar capsule. It was all the brilliant minds they could possibly get together.
Yeah, because that rocket had to be perfect and not go wrong. They had to develop like whole new technologies just to get that mission working.
They did, and it was really pushing everything to the limits. It showed our capability of what we could do in the future. It was monumental, really. It was kind of sad when the Apollo program stopped in 1972.
Yeah, we haven't even been back to the moon since.
We have not.
Yeah.
We have not.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. It's really sad. You know, politics and money and where it was run by the government. Now, see, we have private individuals coming into it now.
Someone in chat said that you're the best and they hope you live as long as you can.
Oh, sweet.
All right. What was your favorite kind of technology that came out when you were younger that like affected you the most or was just your favorite?
Oh, number one, hands down, television. When TV came about, here we saw all of these characters. The example I'll give is the Lone Ranger. Lone Ranger and Tonto, I don't know, it's before your time, but when it came on TV, you're like, oh, wow, we get to see the Lone Ranger now. And so it just kind of opened a window into the world. And I absolutely loved it. When it first came out, it was horrible, black and white, all fuzzy, wasn't totally controlled all the time. Going up and down, and you had to turn some knobs in the back to get it adjusted. And TVs were big.
Yeah, like big boxes.
Yeah. You had tubes, big tube thing in the back. You had TV repairmen, but that hands down is the biggest thing I can think of as a child. Yeah.
What was your experience with like the first early computers? How did that affect you in your just day-to-day life or with work?
They did start getting computers into business and colleges and things like that in the 70s. We did have an early computer in 1982. It was one of the first Apple II. Now, what did Tommy do on it? I know he played games.
Yeah, because there was no internet connection, right?
Yeah, like he was into Dungeons and Dragons, which was a board type thing. I don't know if he played that on it. I think he might have. The computers in the beginning, because we didn't have the internet, they just stored information. Things started changing, like cash registers. Back when I was growing up, they didn't tell you anything. You just opened them up. They totaled the amount because you punched it in, and then you had to make the change, and you had to give back the change and figure that all out.
That sounds complicated.
Yes, you had to know math. I mean, you couldn't rely on devices at all. You saw a gradual changing of all kinds of things. We eventually got smart and got cars safer and seat belts and things like that. I grew up with no seat belts.
No seatbelts.
You know, high-powered, crazy cars.
Yeah.
That instantly kill you. And we didn't use safety devices of any kind. We never rode bikes with helmets or put helmets on in any way. I mean, everything we did was highly dangerous. It's amazing that we're still alive, isn't it? And like with myself and like sports equipment, because I graduated in physical education, that has just gone through astronomical changes.
Yeah.
Like the types of shoes that we used to play, the best we had, Converse.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine? I think that some of the early athletes, in some respects, had to be stronger, better, because we had zero equipment that was worth anything. Didn't protect you, nothing. It was your own body, your own ability. Like golf, radical changes in golf. My golf clubs, the woods were actual wood, no lightweight, high-tech clubs, and the golf balls were totally different as well. Transistor radios, that was better than having to plug a radio in. Transistor radios became small and you could listen to music like that. I still think the quality of the sound of records or vinyls that they're called now is right up there with what we have today. So anyway, that's about all I got to say.
All right. I got one more question for you. Looking back, how do you feel about the changes in technology from like when you were a kid to now? And what surprised you the most?
Oh, well, from when I was a child to now is like night and day. We're talking a whole different world. I mean, from everything that we did. And now, with all the technology that we have, I think the thing that surprises me most is we still don't know certain things. Like, as far as space, totally just tiny bit scratched the surface. They asked Neil Armstrong about going to Mars with a man, and he said that would be so much easier for us now than when we put a man on the moon.
Yeah, but we haven't gone to Mars.
No, we haven't. But we have the capabilities, and it would be easier now with all the high-tech stuff. And the Hubble telescope, that opened up our eyes completely.
Oh, yeah.
Changed our whole view of the universe and us being the Earth. The pilot of the main commander ship to the moon, Michael Collins, when he looked back at the Earth, he said it was just this tiny, fragile thing. And really, in the whole perspective of space, the Earth is just this tiny little pinpoint.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think about that.
Yeah, and my final statement about what has surprised me the most is that we still haven't figured out the human body totally. We still are in the dark about the functioning of the brain. I mean, we've made great advances and able to cure cancer. We did this astronomical stuff with 400,000 brilliant minds to make it to the moon. But there's so many things here on Earth that we don't know. In the ocean, we don't know a lot about what's going on there. It just blows your mind at what we're capable of, and yet we haven't shown that capability yet.
All right, Grandma. Well, thank you for answering the questions for everyone.
Thank you for asking me, and I'm so thankful that my mind's intact enough still to do it. I think another 10 years, we wouldn't, I might not be as solid in my head.
Well, now we have this for the records. All right, Grandma. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay, bye. So what do you guys think? She's definitely wise. She's lived a while, and she is interested in space and all that, so I thought she'd be perfect to interview. Now, finally on our stream today, we have the unboxing that you all have been waiting for. So me, Hostile really, picked these out as like kind of cool retro kind of technologies to, oh wait, before we do this, there's one more thing we're gonna look at some of the first images in space, because these relate to what we're opening. Like this was the very first picture of Earth from space. This was taken by the Apollo 8 crew. Really, really cool. Like, this is probably the most famous picture of Earth. This was taken by Apollo 17. Oh, I've seen this one. This is Venus. Some of these are so cool. Like, this is from 1974. Like, imagine being the people to get these images. Imagine never seeing Io this close, and then you get sent this picture back. That's gotta be so cool, dude. Whoa, it's a montage. This is edited. It didn't look like that, but cool. This picture of Uranus is a highly processed composite of 3 images obtained in 1986. This is from Voyager. That is crazy. There's Neptune. Voyager 2 took this one, and Pluto. All right, get out of here. Those are some of the first high definition images we got of those planets. The first telescope that really, as my grandma said, that really like advanced our understanding is the Hubble. But they did have a lot of like observatories on the Earth before that, and different, you know, cameras like the cameras they had on Voyager 1 and 2 were able to get some of those images we saw. They put some observatories in high elevation because then there's not as much atmosphere to look through. And the reason Hubble is so good, and now James Webb, is because the atmosphere causes a lot of interference when you're looking at stuff through a telescope. So when you have the telescope in space, there's nothing blocking. Let's start with this one. I don't want to dox myself. I wrote it. Oh, okay. I haven't opened these yet. I like the little bow. Okay, I might need like a knife to open this. We got 2 things to open. It's a mini telescope and it looks like an old telescope. And I was like, that's cool, we need that. It's like a spyglass, really. Oh, whoa. Okay, unboxing. It comes in this little wood case. That's actually sick. Has a card if you want to read it. It's just pure white for you guys, all right? This telescope has 4 moving tubes which adds to its look and feel and are used to focus far distance objects. It's supposed to be like a replica of like a marine telescope, not like a space telescope, because that would have been like $1,000. But here's the box. This is pretty cool, actually. There's a thank you letter, and then we got to pull the actual telescope out. Oh, wait, this is sick. It's like actually metal. Oh, wait, this is kind of cool. Okay, wait. How do I... Wait a minute, this is sick. Ready? Is it working? I don't think, I gotta look at something farther away. Lando! I see it! And then I think you use the things to focus it, right? I could like cosplay as a pirate with this, dude. You have to move the eyepiece tube back and forth to focus the object. This one? Okay, I mean, you guys aren't gonna, whoa! Guys, it works. All right, there's our first unboxing, a pirate telescope. I mean, I wanted like an old telescope, but I didn't want to spend $1,000 on like a full model one. So we got this little spy scope. Pretty cool though. There is box number 1. We have one more box to do. Okay, this one is, so you know how my grandma was talking about the old radios? It's like a Fallout radio. It's a replica. It's not a real old radio. All of the directions are in this language. What language is this? Someone tell me. Chinese? Pure white language. Whoa! Wait, this is cool too. And it's got like a tuning knob that actually tunes on. Whoa, there's a flashlight? Dude, what? I didn't know there was a flashlight. How do I turn the... I want to turn the radio on.
Shake, shake, rock and roll, shake, shake, rock and roll. Everybody on the dance floor, dance to the rock and roll.
And I can tune it with this.
In pork, veggie, shrimp, and even chocolate flavors. It
Chocolate
truly
flavors.
is a one-of-a-kind experience.
Pull up the antenna. There's an antenna.
7th century Taiwanese frozen treat, a combination of shaved ice.
Don't you feel like you're in Fallout?
If there is a higher concentration of CO2 available, then plants can do that more efficiently.
Not still young, I'd say. Lover, don't go away.
The static. Yeah, look. You can do like the ghost box thing where it flips through the channels really quick. Do you hear any words? Do Bluetooth? Okay, we'll try the Bluetooth. Okay, what's our request?
Waiting for pairing.
Thank you. I will do that. Mice on Venus? Okay, that's actually not copyrighted, so yeah, let's do that. This is a cool little radio, and it's solar powered. I'm happy with this purchase. We don't need the antenna. It's Bluetooth. Thank you all for coming. That was a little bit of a different stream. It was supposed to be kind of just for fun, learn about the past, recap. So what did we learn today about retro technology? Basically, technology is cool. Subscribe.